If money was the real motivator, engagement wouldn't be declining even though you're offering raises and bonuses, right? The real issue isn't a compensation gap, it's an engagement gap. And it starts with the environment that leaders create. My name is Diondra Filicetti, a leadership and communication speaker and also the author of Engagement Economics. Today, I want to challenge the idea that we have to motivate employees with money, because in reality, engagement is something that organizations will either enable or block through the environment. Most employees don't come to work unmotivated. They come to work capable, skilled, and willing to contribute. So what leaders are seeing isn't a lack of effort. It's an engagement gap created by workplace environments that make sustained engagement difficult. So before we talk about activating employees or increasing inclination, we have to talk about the basics, the environmental factors that make engagement possible in the first place. In engagement economics, I talk about engagement as an economic system. And if the environment is unstable, no amount of incentives, raises, or promotions will fix the outcome. Engagement begins with 4 foundational environmental factors: control, expansion, culture, and trust. If these are weak, engagement will not stick, regardless of how much you pay. Number 1, control. So control or autonomy is about employees having a sense of ownership over how they work. When people feel micromanaged, engagement does not get sustained. When they feel trusted to make the decisions, however, then they're automatically more engaged in managing how they're working. But don't get me wrong, control needs to be paired with the adequate amount of support for the best outcomes. Next is expansion. And expansion is all about employee progress, because people feel disengaged when they feel stuck. And growth doesn't always mean promotion. I mean, it could, but it also means learning and development. And it's the sense that your effort is leading to somewhere new. The key is that when employees can't see a future, then they'll stop investing in the present. Then there's culture. And culture isn't about having your values written on the office wall. It's about how people are experiencing work every single day. It's whether people's voices are heard in meetings, whether their ideas are being respected, and whether their effort is being recognized. And a strong culture will reduce friction between employees, whereby a weak culture or a toxic culture will just drain employee energy. Lastly is trust. Trust is the most fragile and most powerful engagement factor. Employees need to trust leadership decisions. They need to trust communication. They need to trust that their effort will be met with fairness. Trust is the foundation of the relationship. Without trust, autonomy will feel risky, growth will feel uncertain, and culture will fall apart. So this is why money alone will not drive engagement. You can't compensate your way out of poor culture. You can't bonus your way out of low trust. And you can't incentivize people to care in an environment that restricts control and growth. Money can support engagement, but it can't replace the basics that will stand in the way of engagement. So engagement is more about removing the barriers that prevent your employees from fully showing up. So if you're trying to build a more engaged team and you don't have more money in the budget, look at some of their other needs. Look at the environment that they're operating in every single day. Because when you have control, expansion, the right culture, and trust, engagement becomes more sustainable. And motivation stops being something that leaders have to chase. Follow for more communication and engagement strategies.